because I've never used Restream before, but I am today. So we shall see how this goes. Let me know that you can see me and hear me by dropping a hashtag Team Live in the comment section. We are talking today in this mini live about 3 ways you may be unknowingly blocking clients from entering your world. So, of course, key part of this is unknowingly. We, of course, want to bring on new clients, or many of us are in a position where we can, sustain more clients to scale our business because we have a scalable offer. But if you're not receiving clients right now or the volume of clients you're looking for, these may be some of the reasons why. And these are the 3 most common things. As somebody who works with people specifically on growth and lead generation, and somebody who offers done for you lead generation, what we see is when we're generating leads for people, the people that have one of these 3 blocks have a harder time converting leads because these blocks are in their way. So, in order to overcome these barriers, we first need to identify what these barriers are. So, the first one is they have been in a coaching program, maybe they've taken a course, or they've learned this kind of traditional way of thinking about an ideal client. And so they've mapped out their client avatar, right? And you've heard of this before. Give it a name, give it an age, what's their dog's name, how many children do they have, where do they live? And that practice is to, get to know who your dream client is and who you're looking for. But what happens here is it's a self-sabotaging behavior to get super hyper specific to where it's impossible for you to reach that person or find that person or connect with that person. Because they get so hyper specific on this ideal client, they have a list of like 30 things that they need to match. And it's like, oh my goodness, they've checked off 20 of them. But then, oh wait, they're 42, not 43. And they have 2 kids, not 3 kids. And so they limit themselves by getting so hyper specific on who they feel like they can serve. So that is one way. They get so hyper specific that they actually limit their opportunity to connect with people that are potential clients. And this links into also assumptive behavior, making assumptions, and how that limits our opportunity as well, which is alongside self-sabotaging. When we make assumptions about anything, people, sales, we limit ourselves of opportunity. I always say assumption kills opportunity. If this is opportunity, if this is assumption, assumption's coming in and it's obliterating opportunity that is there. I know I found myself in the position where I thought, oh, this person's just a freebie seeker, or, they're just in it for this, or they're sending me a DM to pitch me. That's assumption. I remember I assumed that somebody in my audience was a freebie seeker because they were raising their hands to my offers. They were consuming my free content for around a year. And in my mind, I made the assumption, I was like, that person is a freebie seeker. They're never going to buy anything. They ended up buying not one, but all 3 of the programs launched in 2022. That was an assumption I made that I should have never made about that person. And thankfully, that person still saw that I could bring value despite me making a wrong assumption about them. Same with the DMs. I remember I reached out to somebody I was interested in investing in their service. They assumed I was their business to pitch to them. So they shut down that conversation. So they lost out on a potential client because they made an assumption about my intention. So we want to remove assumption because the more we assume, the more we limit our opportunity, which is sabotaging our potential success. So the first one is being so hyper specific that we make it impossible for us to succeed with something. Okay. The second thing we see people doing that is blocking them from bringing on new clients is, can you guess this one? They don't have 100% belief in themselves and their offer. So when they're going to pitch or when they're going to share their offer, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they say, it doesn't matter what they look like, it doesn't matter what words they use. Through the nonverbal communication, people are going to pick up that this person doesn't have 100% confidence in their offer. And if you don't have confidence in yourself or your offer, then to me, that's going to be a risky investment, right? You need to have 100% confidence so that your people can too. Because the only way you're going to be able to show up and sell confidently is if you believe in your offer. If you don't believe you can provide the transformation you're promoting, how do you expect others to believe that too? So that comes down to self belief and having an aligned offer with your skills, abilities, and experience so that you can confidently walk into promoting your services. So the second one is self belief. And then the third one is worrying about what isn't already here. So worrying about scenarios that haven't even come yet, such as an overflow of clients. So some people block themselves from receiving any clients because they're worried of, oh, if I promote my offer too much, I'm going to get too many clients and I'm not sure I can sustain this, right? They're blocking any clients from coming in because they're actually worried about having too many clients and being able to serve and sustain what comes in. So that's like forecasting a problem that isn't even here. Often we make up problems that aren't even here with us. Which one of these three, if any, do you feel like is holding you back right now? Is it getting so hyper specific and limiting your opportunity by making assumption? So self-sabotaging behavior. Is it the self-belief? Do you believe you can 100% deliver what you're promoting? Or is it you're thinking about problems that haven't even arose yet and you're thinking, "Oh no, can I even do this?" Let me know in the comment section. Hi Marielle, welcome to the live. I'm going to drop this link here because I'm using Restream. I think you have to click on this link so that I can see your name when you're leaving comments. But if you're watching replay as well, let me know your feedback, your comments. Have you experienced one of these before? Have you experienced all three? How did you overcome these things? And if one of these things are your current blocks, it's great if you can identify with this, because if you can identify what your problem is, there is a solution for it. So we can now move on to the solution. If you walk around not knowing what your problem is, it's going to be very difficult to solve that problem. I always think of it like medicine, right? If we get a diagnosis, if we know what the problem is, we can get the proper medication to then solve the problem. So be honest with yourself in today's live and identify what that block may be for you. And then let's talk about the solution. So, first one, the hyper specific and making assumptions. So, not making assumptions is one of those things that it takes practice. Like, of course, I still from time to time make assumptions, but the more you're able to identify, oh, this is an assumption, you can then stop yourself and think, I'm not going to assume what this person thinks or what this person's intention is. And I'm just going to be open to any opportunity that may come from it. So, for example, when I go into DM conversations, I don't make the assumption this person's going to become a client. I don't make the assumption that this person is trying to pitch to me. I literally open up conversation, willing to receive and open to receiving whatever is there. So sometimes I connect with people and it ends up being, a client for me. Sometimes it ends up being a client referral. They refer somebody to me or I refer tell you them. Sometimes it's a collaboration. Sometimes it's my next investment. Sometimes they connect me with somebody else that then leads me to being on a podcast or being in a summit. So when you take away the assumption and open yourself up to opportunity, opportunity is endless. Like it's ever flowing to you. So open yourself up to opportunity by eliminating assumption and think about what are the most important factors of who you work with? Like what makes a qualified lead for you that isn't her name is Betty, she has 3 kids that are 5, 7, and 10. Like it's okay to have a client avatar like that, but you need to understand what are the qualities of this person? What stage of business, health, finance, whatever journey you're helping with, what stage do they need to be in to succeed with your service? That's what you want to think about. The person that walks in the door and that's going to thrive in your program or with your agency or done for you service, who is that person? And what qualities do they have? Or what part of the journey are they on? Are they a beginner? Are they a year into it? Are they advanced? So these are the things you want to think about when you're qualifying your leads, not just these external, more superficial kind of qualities. Second one with the self-belief. I always say the best way to overcome imposter syndrome or limiting beliefs is to collect evidence to prove it to be false. So, when you're offering a service, let's say you're a fitness coach, okay? And if you're feeling like maybe you're unqualified, well, what evidence do you have that proves that to be false? How much experience do you have? Have you transformed in your own fitness journey? Have you helped people with their fitness journey? Do you have a certification? Have you studied this? Have you taught people on this? Like, what evidence can you collect to prove your limiting beliefs to be false? And once you have this data, you realize, oh, when I look at this logistically, not just from an emotional standpoint, but logistically, like that is false. Like for me, as a growth and lead generation strategist, I can say, oh, no, I'm not qualified to do this. I can feel like I'm not good enough or something like that. That is like my own image of myself and emotion. But when I look at it logistically, I'm like, okay, I've trained over 10 virtual assistants on this strategy. I've implemented people. I've done it for myself. I have taught team members how to do it, right? I have trained other coaches and service providers to do it, and it's worked for them and it's worked for me. Plus, I've done mentorship on it, and I've been doing this for a couple of years. And then I realized, okay, logistically, it does not make sense for me to say I'm unqualified because I have all this evidence proving that I am. And then the third one being that block of, thinking of, oh my goodness, how am I going to be able to bring on this many clients before you even have a client or a couple clients? Again, we want to think about the present, and that's really what this is about. It's going to be about keeping you in the present because that is anxiety, right? Anxiety is worrying about the future, worrying about things that haven't even happened. So, right now, if you're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to be able to bring on this many clients? Ask yourself today, can you bring on a client today? If the answer is yes, then great. You don't have a problem to worry about right now, right? Think about today rather than, oh my goodness, 30 days from now, I'm going to have this many clients, and you're blocking yourself because you're creating anxiety about a possible outcome that hasn't even happened. I'm going to check the comment section here. Hello, Marielle. For me, sometimes I'm self-sabotaging or overthinking, but what helped me is that I am doing positive affirmations and really connect with my higher self and remembering my goals, For leads, I'm learning so much right now. I already have an ideal client avatar, but I'm learning so much right now. So I'm so glad to hear that. Let me know if you have any specific questions. And when it comes to affirmations, I definitely think affirmations are powerful. But for me, I'm always wondering, okay, how are we acting on the affirmation, right? When I think of affirmation, I think of, verbally saying words. But then again, I want to link that to an action to prove it to be true, right? So if I say I am good at something, or I am strong, or I show up for myself, how am I actually putting in that into action, right? If I have the affirmation, I follow through on my words, or I am a person of integrity, how am I putting that into action on a daily basis? If I say I show up, if I say I'm a leader, and then I post something and delete it, I comment something and worry for 2 hours, was that the right words? Then I go live and then I'm like, oh no, tech went wrong. I'm going to delete it. Is that what a leader would do? And I really am stretching you guys in today's live to think about this. Are your words, are your affirmations lining up with your actions? Because this is when that emotional versus logistic comes into play. I can say I am something, but what makes me that thing? If I say I am a reader, but I don't read, am I really a reader? Like, for me to be a reader, for me to be have that true identity, I have to have that habit. Like, I need to have that action to align with it. I think it's in Atomic Habits that they talk about this, how your habits become your identity, right? If you smoke, you're labeled as a smoker, right? If you run, you're labeled as a runner. So it's the actions that you do that become your identity. So if you don't like the habits that are happening in your life or your business, that's currently creating your reality and your identity. So this is why our actions and our words are super powerful. Our words are super powerful, as well as our actions. And we want to make sure that we're saying what we mean and we're doing what we say. I'm going to check the comment section to see if there's any other questions or comments. Let me know where you're also tuning in from. If this is Facebook or YouTube, or I think I'm connected to LinkedIn as well. Let me know. I'm going to wrap up today's mini live right here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. And if you're watching replay, definitely let me know any comments, questions, greatest takeaways from today's session. I'd be more than happy to hear. Bye for now.